Okay, so what is timing? First, I will start by applying a simple animation to this circular shape. I will go to the position, right-click separate dimensions, so I have more control over the X and Y position. Create a keyframe, go 24 frames, and drag the circle over here. Okay, so 24 frames, since my composition is 24 frames per second, so it's gonna take 1 second to complete this animation. So basically this is my timing of the animation. Alright, so the first keyframe and the last keyframe defines my timing of the animation, which is 24 frames, which is 1 second. Okay, so what if my animation feels slow? What if I want to make my animation faster is by taking this keyframe and make it closer to the first keyframe. Let's say 15 frames now, and my animation is faster. So what I'm changing now is my timing of the animation. So if you see the animation now, it looks linear and stiff. So what we usually do is we apply easy ease to make it less linear by selecting the keyframes and pressing F9 on keyboard. But the thing is, most of the animators apply the easy ease without knowing what is happening behind it. So I'm gonna turn on this adjustment layer. This layer has an echo effect on it. So let me return to a linear movement. All right. Okay, so this echo effect shows the frames between these two keyframes. All right. And this is how our frames look like between these two keyframes in a linear movement. Okay, let me now apply the easy ease and see what will happen. Okay, so as you can see now, the frames at the beginning of the animation are closer to each other and at the end are closer to each other as well. And that's why the animation is a bit slow at the beginning and a bit slow at the end. And so the easy ease is affecting the spacing between the frames and not the timing of the animation. Our timing is still the same. It's still 24 frames, 1 second. Okay, this tool over here is the graph editor. This tool is the most important tool in After Effects. Here you can control your spacing of the animation. Let me turn on the echo effect and let me turn my animation into linear. Let's go to the graph editor. Okay. So when you have the linear interpolation, your line in the curve editor will look like this. It's a linear line. Let me apply the easy ease and let me turn on the echo effect. All right. So if I go over here and make the handle like this, see what is happening here? The frames at the beginning of the animation are getting closer to each other. And if I play around with this handle as well, the frames at the end of the animation are getting closer to each other. So the flatter the curve, the slower the animation, since the frames are getting closer to each other, and the steeper the curve, the faster the animation, since the frames are far from each other. You will know more about this in our next lesson. Okay, so if I want this circle to move fast in the beginning, slower in the middle, and faster at the end, okay, I can make this handle like this. I can make the curve steeper, so the frames will be far from each other, which will make the animation faster. I can make this handle like this to make it steeper in the middle. and to make it flatter in the middle and steeper in the end. So in the middle, the frames are close to each other, and in the end, the frames are far from each other, which will make the motion faster. So it starts really fast. In the middle, it's really slow since the frames are close to each other, and then it moves fast.